live. So all of you tuning in right now, thank you so much. Now we're going to talk about traditions. And in conjunction with that topic, just take a look at the screen right now. You have the QR code and the link, all right, shown on the screen right now. So what's going to happen is that if you get into the QR code, it'll be linking you to a Slido link where you can type out "Okay Boomers," and why don't you share with us what are some of the traditions that you have to practice with your family, whether it's fun, whether you agree with it, you believe in it or not, it doesn't matter. But if it's a tradition that you practice in your family, just type it out in the Slido section and we want to talk about it. Alright, Yue, it's nice to see you. Yes, very sus. Today I paid my internet bill.
Hello,
Pastor
can you hear me?
Didn't pay his internet bill. Yes.
Hello.
Welcome
Am
back,
I here?
Pastor Andy.
Am I here? Hello, am I here?
Yes. Welcome back.
Wow, finally I made it. Oh my goodness. I tell you.
Yes, you are learning not to pay your internet bills.
Hey, I gave my bill to you to pay.
Hey,
Hey,
is it?
you forgot, huh?
Yes.
Wow, 6,000 people watching now on our phone. Nervous. I'm nervous.
And our usual fan of the year, Yue, is also with us.
Yes, wonderful.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. Sup everybody.
Yes,
Nick Hugh is also in. Awesome.
Nick Hugh is in. On Facebook, we've got a boomer joining us, Kitong. Not really a boomer, but he's old.
I mean, in the context of teenagers, everyone above 25 is probably boomers.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, Ganesh.
Okay. Wow, welcome back. I was saying you are lagging because you are traditional. And that's what tradition does, right? It holds people back. So you can say that I'm wrong, but you are a pure example of that. Okay, look at the top left corner of your screen and you will see the word sli.do, #OKBoomer. So head on to Slido and write OK Boomer. Share with us some of the traditions that you have to do with your family or your friends, whether it's festivities and stuff like that. We want to know you more and we want to talk about it, and that would be cool. Hello, Samantha Yu. Okay, awesome. I have two people with me today, and they are professional traditionalists. Well, not really.
Wow.
They're just friends now. And they have said yes to join us because maybe it's in their heart to talk about traditions. Maybe it's not. Maybe they just want to join us to talk. But whichever it is, let me first introduce you, the first person, part of the panel, Darylene.
Hey!
Okay.
Darylene. Wow, she's very traditional, huh?
Yes, traditional looking. Look at the specs.
What? No? Isn't this quite trendy though?
Traditional.
Wow, traditional, yes.
Okay.
Very nice.
Wow, Darylene, nice to have you with us. Name us, maybe share with us one tradition that you always practice with your family that you don't like about.
Don't like about? Wow, that's very hard to point out. all the ones you don't like, we chuck out all the window.
Okay. All the ones you don't like, most likely you don't practice, right?
Yeah, correct.
But just share with us one so we get the ball rolling.
Okay. Family gatherings, like huge family gatherings. The one you see all the auntie, uncle you don't know one. That one.
Okay. So you don't like that. How about one tradition that you like?
Tradition that I like. Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Like
Okay.
It's not tradition, right?
My
Christmas
family
is like,
tradition, we give presents, you know.
That's a nice tradition to keep, right? Yeah.
Wait till you need to give presents, then you'll start to not like it.
Man.
Okay.
Okay, we have another guest today with us, right?
That's right. Go ahead, Pastor.
A little bit younger. Because we want someone that represents a different generation to tell us whether traditions from the previous generations is relevant or even good to keep or not. So
in fact,
have representing
Pastor Andy,
Generation Z. Yes, Anish?
In fact, today's topic, right, is because of this person. Yeah. We have to talk about it because of this person.
Why, huh? What
I mean, because this person is saying that we are traditional.
Oh,
okay. Boomer and all that, right?
Okay,
so,
she told you lah. She didn't tell me that. Okay, so let's put our hands together and welcome the traditionalist, not really, Sarah Torrell.
Wow.
Look at
Wow.
you. Looking all non-traditional.
Yes, very traditional.
Yeah, see, all of us, the camera is straight in our face. Yours is low angle, so untraditional. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. So tell us about
Hi.
yourself. One tradition that your family practices that you don't quite like, and one tradition that you like that your family practices.
For me, I don't really have much traditions that
Okay.
I celebrate in my family. But so yeah, I don't really dislike any that we celebrate. But I think one that I really like is during Christmas, we gather around as a family and we have dinner and Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right. Okay. That's nice.
Sounds like gathering and dinner. It's just culturally a tradition in Malaysia lah,
Yeah.
right?
I think so. I mean, Malaysia has many races, many cultures. So there's all sorts of celebration, right? Christmas, Deepawali, Chinese New Year, which we are still in, by the way.
Yes.
15 days of Chinese New Year,
Yes.
Hari Raya, so many. How about you, Ganesh? You are from Langkawi.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Not really. If your parents are watching this,
So
they'll
no,
be like,
I'll tell you what. So in Langkawi, we practice this tradition called
Yes.
the Chap Gourmet. All right.
gourmet.
Yes,
Wow.
So on the 15th day of Chinese New Year, apparently, it's like the Chinese Valentine's. So
Okay.
last Exchange Chat we had our Valentine special, and
Yes.
today is actually the so-called Chinese Valentine because Chinese people believe that 14 February is because it's 4. So anyway, so what they do, right? What they do, the girls in Langkawi, right? They will take oranges. They will write their name on the oranges. They will write their
Right.
number on the oranges, and then they let it float in the Langkawi lake, the sea lah. Okay, let the wave push it all the way to Semenanjung. So the idea is this: whoever picks up the orange,
Yes.
Chinese New Year is all about oranges, right? So if you pick it up,
Yeah.
a guy picks it up, then they are so-called fated to be with each other.
Oh, beautiful,
Yes.
Love story. Hey, Ganesh, like that means all the Langkawi girls end up marrying all the Indonesian men lah.
He got the other side.
Yeah, because you throw in the sea, then you will flow until Medan, what?
Ayo, it's the other side
Flow
of
to
Pasir
Medan,
Ris.
flow to Aceh. Okay.
Yes.
Actually,
So,
I know
yeah.
that tradition because I come from Klang. So Klang is very near Port Klang.
Okay,
So if you
yeah.
go to Port Klang, you will see all these people throwing oranges into the
So
sea.
that's how you got
Yes.
together with Jay, because Jay sent her orange from Port Johor and you collected from Klang.
Somehow the sea flow up, not down, Yeah. It's like a salmon,
Okay.
Yeah. But Ganesh, some people call that pollution.
Yes.
I don't know whether like dolphins and sharks eat oranges or not.
Yeah, that's why we got
Yeah.
herbivore creatures lah. It's
Yes,
okay
yes,
lah,
yes.
orange. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're gonna talk about tradition. And just about right now, besides Chap Gourmet and all that, we're gonna share with you guys, or rather go through some other traditions that people generally practice in Malaysia lah, right? At least. And not just traditions, but some of these traditions are being passed down from generations to generation, and it became more like a superstition also, right? So let's take a look at the
Yes.
screen right now, and the first one I have here is let me see.
Come on, organizer.
Yes, organizer, you go. All right, this tradition is generally practiced during the time of Chinese New Year.
Oh.
All right. Okay, so now we are in this time of Chinese New Year, and as I mentioned, there's a whole Chap Gourmet thingy and whatever, right? So, but also in Chinese New Year, there is a tradition or slash a superstition on cleaning.
Ooh.
On cleaning. So
Okay.
apparently, right, you, in terms of cleaning, right, you can only clean your house, or you're supposed to clean your house before Chinese New Year. That makes sense, right? Because celebration and you want your house to be clean, you want people to visit you, so you have to
Yes, of
clean it
course. Yeah.
before Chinese New Year. However, during Chinese New Year, for 5 days, you cannot clean your house.
Oh, so all the mandarin oranges skin all just leave lah on the floor.
Yes. You
All the
cannot clean your
kacang
house.
kulit, all the chrysanthemum tea, the plastic wrapper, all just leave it lah.
That's right. So if you have been cleaning your house, right, you are doing it wrong. Okay, but why do you think
Okay.
it's like that? Why do you think it's like that? So maybe Darylene or Sarah.
I think
Go
based on Sarah, do you know why? Or Darylene?
Actually, like this happened to me like just this CNY. I didn't know about it also until like my mom, she scolded me. Basically, I wanted to vacuum my house, and like because it's dirty and like it was already Chinese New Year, and then my mom was like, "Ayo, should have done it earlier lah." And then I'm like, "Oh, why?" Then she's like, "You know lah, it's not my family that believes it because I'm a Christian family, but I live beside neighbors who are Buddhists."
Okay.
So they don't like anything that will it's like that to clean during CNY, and because they believe that if you sweep the floor or I think clean up, then you sweep away all the good luck.
Wow.
So all the prosperity goes along with it. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ganesh, this is why after
Yeah.
they let go the firecracker, they leave all the red color, the firecracker.
Yeah.
Ashes.
They leave it on the floor. They don't sweep.
Right. For 5 days. Wow.
Because
okay,
the firecracker is supposed to bring good luck, then the good luck all drop in your house already.
Yeah.
If you sweep away, habis lah.
Obvious.
But it's okay, we are Christian, so we are better to give than receive. So we sweep over to neighbor's house lah.
Yeah.
Bring them all the luck.
speaking of sweeping away things to our neighbor's house, right? Do you know that if you roll a pineapple to a neighbor's house, it is bringing them prosperity? Wow.
Yes. You know why or not, Ganesh?
Why?
This one I can answer. Because I am Hokkien.
Wow, okay.
Hey, Hokkien is not a noodle. I know you think Hokkien is a noodle, right? Hokkien is a dialect. It's a dialect.
Right.
So in Hokkien, you know what we call pineapple or not?
What?
Ong Lai.
Wow.
Ong Lai is the name for pineapple. So if you
Right.
break the words, it's Ong. Ong is luck, prosperity.
Right.
Lai is come.
Right.
Ong Lai, come.
Wow. Okay,
Prosperity come.
I didn't see that part of it. What I know is pineapple is gold in color, so it's like giving gold to people. But that's very good.
You see, this kind of thing, you must be Hokkien only, you know lah. You Langkawi, you don't know.
Okay, so for those of us watching us, I hope you're enjoying. So do type out your thoughts on some of these traditions or superstitions, but you can also head up to the QR code on the top left corner. It's a Slido link. Type out OK Boomer and we will read out some of the traditions that you practice at home, and we would love to get to know you more. All right, cool. So we've got more on Chinese New Year. So that's on cleaning, right? So you're right. Cleaning on year end before Chinese New Year happened is cleaning. Basically cleaning all your bad luck away, you're sweeping away. And
Right.
cleaning during Chinese New Year is also sweeping away good luck. But let's talk about ang pao. All right, red packets. Wow, this is traditionally a tradition of the tradition. Okay, if you don't have ang pao during your Chinese New Year, right, you will get offended, right? So. I don't know, Sarah, being a Malaysian, but originated from Philippines or whatnot, right? What do you think ang pao is to you from an outsider point of view?
Actually, I'm not sure. It's just something that's really generous with other people. Yeah.
Right. Have you received any ang pao before?
Yes, I have from my neighbors.
Oh wow, do you ever say like, hey boomer, that's too traditional. Take it back.
Wow.
Oh
No,
no?
I have not.
No, you never. Oh, okay. So not all traditions are bad, I guess.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from Darylene. Darylene, how much did you receive this year from ang pao alone?
Wow, disclosing how much I got
Yeah, that's why you're here. Yes.
Yes.
Actually, not bad this year lah. Even though the MCO still meet up with my grandparents, so still got a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. About like actually quite less lah. Like compared to some people really very rich one. I got like probably 500 plus like that. Yeah.
Wow.
This is like, it feels like $1 million during MCO, no?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Good lah, good.
Wow, that's good, So,
Yeah.
what do you think ang pao is about, Darylene?
Actually, I didn't really look into the meaning of it.
Oh,
I
you
only
just
know
like
that
to
married
receive it, right?
couples-
It's money.
Yeah. I only know that married couples give it only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Online.
Right, that's right. For those of you watching, why don't you hashtag the number in terms of ringgit, how much you have received this year. This year, I didn't receive anything. and that's quite sad. So if you're supposed to give me, you give it to me, all right? But this is what ang pao is about. Based on what I've studied through Google, my best friend. Of course, everyone says ang pao is like a blessing, right? You know, we want to celebrate prosperity and all that. So we give generously to married people will give to their children, right? But what I understand, it is actually a transfer of fortune. It's a symbolism of that. So if you're a father, you're a parent, and you give ang pao to your kid, right? You're telling your kid, you will receive my fortune as well, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Similarly to your boss, from a boss to the staff and all that. It's a transfer of fortune. Wow!
Okay.
Tradition. Basically superstitions are things that people believe in. Whether it's good or not, I'll let you decide. Okay, but we're going to talk about it. Cool. Let's talk about the third one. Very fast. Chinese New Year. Apparently, you cannot eat porridge during Chinese New Year. Wow. What do you think about that, man? Now there's restriction in terms of food. Woo!
What do you think? I don't know. Sarah, what do you think of this tradition of not eating porridge during Chinese New Year?
Oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
Can you maybe guess the reason why?
Is it because there are better dishes to be prepared during July? I have no idea.
Oh, that's a very practical and very common sense reasoning. How about Darylene? Do you know, or you wanna guess?
I have no idea.
Okay, why don't you take a wild guess? Like, why would eating porridge be a no during Chinese New Year?
Is it because like sick people eat porridge? So like you're calling
Sick
yourself
people eat porridge. That one is Ganesh people say one.
Oh, yeah. Sick people.
Actually, I don't know. I really don't know.
So we are learning a little bit. Not so much about us practicing it, but at least next time, right, you can appreciate what your neighbor is trying to do, right? So you don't bring a porridge to your neighbor's house during Chinese New Year.
Well, Chinese New Year, you go and send Grab food. No, Grab food.
It's a porridge. Wow, that one is
Gong
like...
hei fa choi. Wow, tell you they curse.
All right. Yes, for those of you asking me to give your ang pao, traditionally you have to visit me in order to receive ang pao. So don't just ask, visit me. Yes, okay. So anyway, in terms of porridge, right? Porridge in the olden days in China, right? It is treated as poor people's food. Somehow, right? Chinese New Year is all about prosperity and stuff like that. So if you feed people porridge or you eat porridge, you are telling, you're giving people poor people's food, and that's not a good start to the year, and that's what they all say about. Okay. All right.
I see.
Yeah, so we've got one entry. Thanks for writing it up in our Slido link. And this person says, I think one of the funniest tradition in my family used to celebrate is person celebrating 2 birthdays a year. Wow, who celebrate 2 birthdays a year? My gosh.
What?
It's like the person is born twice. Apparently, it's a tradition in his family, his or her family.
Who is this? One of the finest traditions my family used to celebrate is a person celebrating 2 birthdays a year. Oh, okay.
Wow. If you are the one who write it down, let us know who you are.
But you know why not, Ganesh? Because
Why?
during Chinese New Year, on the 7th day of Chinese New Year, actually the Chinese consider it, right, everybody's birthday.
Wow, so everybody born on the same day?
Something like that.
Okay.
The 7th day of Chinese New Year is considered the birthday of human beings. Everybody's birthday. Everybody is happy birthday on the day. There's one birthday, and then there's another birthday that when you came
Chinese
out
New Year almost quite biblical, although ours is on the 6th day. Not bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that one we can have another chat because if you there's this thing about the Chinese character, all the Chinese words, right? If you study how the words are written, right, it's all found its roots in Book of Genesis.
Wow, I heard of such teaching before. Yes.
One day we asked Moses to come and talk to us.
Nice. All right.
Moses wrote Genesis, right?
The origin of Chinese characters.
So
Nice.
actually they say the Chinese people got history that tie back to the Jewish God
I
Jehovah.
mean, have to be if you believe there's one God and one descendant, then yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
let's move on. All right, that's Chinese New Year. Let's talk about our family-based traditions. Okay, the first one here is removing your shoes before entering your house. Okay, I did not know this tradition thing I thought it's a thing everyone does until someone pointed out.
This one is what, Malaysian or what? Or
Yeah, so it has to be in an Asian context, right? Because
Yeah.
you know of people who don't practice it.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So I went to study in the United States,
Okay.
and over there they wear shoe all into the house.
Wow.
So when I remove my shoe, they look at me funny. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you removing your shoe? I'm like, this is what we do back home. We are well advanced. Why you all still wearing shoe into the house? This is I guess this is tradition to us, something we practice without even thinking. But in some other parts of the world, it's a totally different thing, right?
Wow.
So, who is right? Who is wrong?
So when you are in America and you attempt to remove your shoes, were
Yes.
you considered rude?
I was not considered rude.
Okay.
I was considered weird.
Weird, right?
Like, why would you do that?
Okay.
Another thing, okay, I don't know whether this is considered tradition or not. Maybe more culture than tradition. I was in Brazil last year, right? Last year. And I was having a meal. And Brazilians love their coffee. They really love coffee.
Right.
So there's coffee in every meal. So what I did was I took my meal, okay, my rice and whatever, and then I went to get a cup of coffee, okay, and while I'm eating my rice and my food, I drink coffee. Now,
Okay.
does it sound weird to any of you? No, right?
No.
Because we do it all the time. We go to mama, we got tea, got coffee, we drink and we eat, right?
Yeah.
I had a group of Brazilians gathering all around me, looking at me doing that. I'm like, what's going on? What did I do wrong? And then they asked me, Pastor, what are you doing? I said, I am drinking coffee. Well, why? I'm like, what do you mean why? I mean, I'm having my meal and drinking coffee lah. They're
Right.
like, we don't do that here. We have coffee after our meal. We don't have it during our meal. I'm like, oh, really? But in my country, it's totally normal. We drink whatever we want. I'm so blessed to be Malaysian lah.
Was there a reason though? They didn't say anything.
They have no reason. They also like, it's just what we do.
Okay.
It's just like that. Like we don't know why, but it's just like that. We will never have our coffee while we're having our meal. We have it
Right.
after. Although every meal there is coffee. Wow.
Right.
So
Wow.
it's like a dessert like that lah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yes.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, those are difference of traditions between us in Malaysia and also in Asia versus those in other parts of the world. Okay, back to family tradition. We're gonna move on, and this one is obviously for Darylene and definitely for Sarah Torrell. It sounds like this. The tradition is this, right? Favoring your elder brother. Wow. Do you feel this
Whoa.
at home? Like Sarah, I know you have an elder brother, right? Do you feel like there's a form of favor upon your your older brother?
Actually not really, surprisingly. Yeah.
Told you already, Kane. Sarah is non-traditionalist.
Oh, yeah. Darylene, what do you think about this statement? I mean, I don't think you have a brother in your house, but
I don't have a brother, but I have an older sister lah, and actually got a bit lah. Maybe not from my parents, but from my grandparents. Maybe my grandparents are a little bit more on the traditional side lah.
Okay.
So even things like giving angpao also, they will give probably my older sister more.
Wow.
Wow.
And they'll probably also put a lot of emphasis on like her career and like whether she want to have family and things like that lah. Yeah, but not really my family, but I do know like very very like Asian countries like Korea or even Japan. I think most times in China also like they'll favor a lot of the oldest firstborn, especially male, because it's a very male dominant culture lah. Yeah.
That's right. Wow.
Mhm.
Pastor, are you the eldest?
I am the eldest.
Wow. Do you enjoy the favor you got?
I have to be honest, I don't feel favored.
Okay.
I feel blamed. It's like, it's always my fault. Younger brother mess up, why you never, this, like, it's always this famous line, because you're the elder brother, you have to this, you have to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe to some people that's favor, but to me, I'm like, why is it my fault? It's always me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read this text that I prepared. It says here, some family practices that if elder brother don't get married, then no one else can get married in the family. So it goes by hierarchy, right? Elder
Wow.
brother is entitled for fortune and inheritance, and that is for some family they practice that. In China, there is a huge preference of having a son instead of a daughter because of the limitation of babies due to population control. Okay, this is during those days. I'm not sure if it's still being practiced now. Because those days, every family can only have 1 or 2 kids. And if they have 1 kid and it's a daughter, right? Then the daughter will not carry out the legacy of the family. The family's name will die there. So they want a son. And sometimes they will go to the extent of even giving away the daughter, disowning them to make another baby. So things like that. So, well, those are traditions. They are not being practiced right now, but something that, I mean, these are many thousand years ago, in the 18th century or 19th century. Okay, next tradition, let's talk about it. Nobody eats the last piece. Wow. This one is not so much of tradition. It become like a somehow unspoken culture that family sometimes...
This is a very how to say Malaysian thing. I think I noticed in a lot of meals, a lot of dinners. Okay, let's ask a non-traditionalist Sarah. She always say, "Go man." And then
that last piece is mine, and then Sarah.
Okay.
What do you think about it, Sarah?
Yeah, actually, I don't do this. We eat everything, so yeah, to make sure that nothing is wasted. I feel like
but who eats the last piece though? Who's the one who take the last one?
Usually it's my brother.
See, elder brother get favor.
But don't y'all feel bad taking the last piece, or like y'all ask anyone wants this, and that kind of things?
Yeah, I always ask first before I take, if I want to take it. Yeah.
Yes. So, Singwei and Ariel said it right. It's the paise piece. Alright, Darylene, you say something?
It happens a lot in my family. Almost every dinner time. It's like you have to order the what is that called dishes, right? So like we always order sometimes like we have the chicken. So the chicken have come in like many small pieces. And so there will always be one last one. Everybody's so shy to take it. It's like don't want to ask also, anybody wanna? Yeah. Because it's like I guess it's like the mentality is like you don't want to seem stingy or greedy, Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
So it's like a perception thing, right? Like the one who takes the last piece without asking is like some kind of like, I don't know, like unspoken like rudeness like that, right?
Yeah.
And really, your auntie will blame you lah. They will go behind the door and say, "Wow, this no respect one eat the last piece," and that's not cool at all.
Yeah.
But in front of the table, right? They will say, in front of the table, they will say, you eat. Wow. Because I think there's another way to say it is because people don't like to clean up the Tupperware or the plate, after eating the last piece. So you always let your siblings eat it, but and they rather not eat it. However, it is also said that eating the last piece means that you are prosperous to have food, right? So if you keep skipping the last piece, you are sort of like, of course there's a lot of respect and honor to the older ones, but I think in this, what this person is trying to say is that if you eat the last piece, you are prosperous to have food, because they are also trying to teach that other people around the world do not have food to eat, so don't waste food, that kind of thing. All right, let's move on. So we have 3 more. I know time is catching up. The next one is not so much about family, it's not so much about festivities, but more on a personal level or tradition, basically things that people have been doing, which is shaking your leg. This is a superstition, right? Do you all know that shaking your legs when you sit down comfortably, right, is like pantang. People dislike you doing it. What do you have to say about that?
Isn't it like a bad habit?
Yeah, but do you know why it's a bad habit?
I don't know. It's like built from childhood, or like they see other people doing it also. It's a very gangster,
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you shake your legs when you just sit down, or it's a very subconscious thing, like you don't realize yourself doing
I'm shaking my legs now actually. I shake it all the time.
Wow.
I shake it so much that my wife had to tell me, hey, you're on live stream now, please don't shake your leg.
Wow. Superstitious. Okay, so I'll let you know about this thing about shaking your leg, right? So in the olden days, right, because in India, most of the people are labor workers. So if let's say you are shaking your leg while you're sitting comfortably, right, it is an act to say that you got nothing to do and you're not working. Means you're living too comfortably. And those days people despise you for that because you're supposed to work hard. But on a Chinese belief, right, if you shake your legs, you're basically shaking all your fortune away. Of course, Chinese is about fortunes. So, yeah. Okay, so that's on shaking your legs. How about numbers? The tradition and superstition on numbers. Do you know that some people dislike some numbers?
Yes, oh my goodness. Especially Chinese, right?
Oh my
Four.
gosh, I didn't say
Number
that,
four.
man.
Wow.
Why do you think that is? Sarah, maybe you try to answer this first. Why do you think Chinese hate the number 4?
I don't know. I guess, like you said, mostly everything in CNY is about fortune, so maybe it has to do with that.
Oh, this
Lucky numbers and stuff.
So
I don't know.
they dislike number 4 not because of fortune. This is like different level already. Yeah. Maybe Darylene as a representative from the Chinese people.
Oh wow. I cannot do that. But I'll explain.
Yes.
It's like in Chinese, 4 is 4. So like sounds similar to the word die. So it's like sure.
Right.
Yeah, die lah. So
Yes.
it's like
Right.
relating to death. So like even things like if you wonder why, probably you will see in some Malaysian buildings here also. If you see like the lift, they don't like to put like level 4. They have to put like 3A.
Wow.
Like
That's like
the
really
num-
pushing
yeah.
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't want if they want to rent it out to Chinese people, then they don't want it to have like the number 4 there or not Chinese people
Right.
will buy on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you're 14 years old, you should say I'm 13A years old. And when you reach 44 year old, you should say I'm 3A year old. Yeah, just to counter superstition. But do you know that it is not just Chinese that has issues with number, right? Of course, Chinese has they are quite against number 4. But on the flip side, Indians actually like the number 4. All right. And why? Because the number 4 is considered good as it looks like a man who is crossing his leg like a boss. Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
So as much as Chinese rejects the number 4, Indians are happy to take them. All right, but there's also this other thing where, according to numerologists, people who study numbers, right, the number 8 is a misfortune to Indians because it represents the god of misfortune. So those are just some fun facts to what other people believe. But yeah, cool to know. All right, traditions and superstitions. The last one for tonight, in terms of this activity, is cutting fingernails at night. Wow! Have you all ever come to this point where when you cut your fingernails at night, you get told off?
Why
Again?
this one?
Like, people never tell me like no before, but like I got scared by a friend once in primary school. Like they said like if you cut your nail at night, then some lady, some ghost with long hair will come and comb your hair with her long nails at night or something like that. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I feel so creeped out already because I always cut fingernails at night.
I also.
Okay, just to let you know, that is exactly what people do believe. But let me elaborate further. Okay, so in the olden days, now this is where tradition meets education or whatever lah, right? So in the olden days, the older people always advise not to cut fingernails during the dark. They never specifically say at night, but not in the dark. But to them, because there's limitation of light, right? So their light is like a lamp and all that. So nighttime means basically dark lah, right? So if you cut your fingernails in the dark, you will most likely injure yourself. But how the adults those days communicate it to the younger ones is they say, hey, don't cut your fingernail at night because if you do that, then hantu will come after you. They just say like that, but actually their intention is good. They just communicate it in a way where they wanted to scare everyone so that they just don't do it at night. Yeah. So, yeah. But what you say is right. The lady with the long hair will come and comb your hair at night. So let me tell you this. If you have cut your fingernail today and tomorrow you wake up with a good hair day, yeah, just think about that for a moment. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so that's all we have for activity today. Woo, that's a mouthful. I hope you guys are happy and entertained and had a lot of fun. Remember, those are superstitious. It's not what you are supposed to believe in. Or if you do, then sure, fine, whatever. But we are here to talk about it. But if you do have your own tradition and it's fun and you want to let us know, look out at the QR code at the top left corner of your screen or the Slido. The hashtag is OKBoomer. Share with us some of the traditions that you have to do with your family or your friends, and we would like to talk about it. And it's fun. All right, it's quite fun, right, to talk about traditions. Okay, that's a mouthful. Pastor, I pass the time to you first. I need to drink water.
Okay. So we want to kind of like move from just general traditions and traditions based on culture. Maybe, since we are like a church youth ministry podcast or video cast, we can talk a bit about church traditions, right? Are all traditions bad? Are all old traditions outdated? Or is there some value, like, for example, even cultural ones, like, I don't think any of us are willing to let go of the Ang Pao culture or Ang Pao tradition yet, although it's probably thousands of years old or something like that. So traditions that are old necessarily bad or not really? So we want to talk about things like that, okay? But before we go into that, maybe Darylene and Sarah can share a little bit about what do you think tradition is? What is tradition to you?
Sorry,
maybe Darylene can go first. What is tradition to you?
Are you sure? I feel like tradition is something that's been carried generation to generation, something that brings together. Usually families bond over tradition. So yeah, that's what I think it is.
Great. How about you, Darylene?
I think that too, but I also think there is another side of tradition where it doesn't just have to be from generation to generation, but like can have started from like your own family. So like things that you practice and you carry on doing it for longer times. Yeah.
Right. So based on that, I think based on the understanding, I guess it would be common sense to think that churches have traditions also, because churches have been around for a long, long time, generations to generations. Some people describe church as family. So as a family, there are things that we carry on. So churches obviously have traditions too. Can you name some? Can you think of some that would be considered as a church tradition? What do you think?
Oh, a simple one. Maybe like communion. Yeah.
Communion. Okay.
Yeah.
Been done for generations, still doing it. Some people probably don't know why we do it, but do it anyway because you come to church, right? That's a good one. How about Sarah? What do you think? What's one church tradition that you know of?
I think raising of hands during worship.
Right. Yeah. So like everybody does it, right? Was there a point in time, Sarah, when you ask yourself, why do we do this? Like, why do we do this? Have you ever asked yourself that? You have, right? Yeah. And then typically that's what we ask about tradition, right? Like, it's tradition, so we all do it. But at some point, we all ask, why are we doing this? And is it necessary? Like, if I don't do it, is it some kind of sin? And if I do it, does it make me more holy? I don't know, right? But that's typically what happens with tradition. We tend to do it without questioning, and one day we start questioning. So it's good. I wonder if our 13,000 audience watching us right now, whether you have any church traditions that you can think of. church traditions that you have been doing for some time, and maybe you question it now, can you put it into the chat?
Yeah.
And if we see something, we can even pick it up and discuss it here in the chat. Kanesh, how about you?
Well, actually, since like Sarah and Darylene mentioned some of these things,
Yeah.
I think it's quite cool because when I first came to church, right, and that was like 10 years ago in Acts, right, or coming 11 years, everything has been like that lah. And it's not just in Acts, but even the church that I attend before I come to Acts, it's all the same. Like for example, worship. There's always that worship, right? And funnily enough, in my old church, when we say worship, it's always 4 songs. And now when I came to Acts, we say worship is also 4 songs, and there's always 2 fast songs and 2 slow songs one. And then always in between, sure got one speaker come up and do some exhortation. So it's like, hey, actually, is this a form of tradition that people practice over a period of time? And giving of tithe and offering, is this a tradition, right? Because it's been practiced since years and years and years. Then you're right lah. I think when Sarah said like when you put up your hand and you start questioning like why are you doing this now I'm thinking like, hey, actually is there a reason behind all this, or we've just been doing it for the past 10 years not knowing why we are doing it? Cool.
And also how do we decide whether a tradition is still good? Because I think when traditions started, whenever they started, right?
Yep.
There's always a good reason. Like nobody starts something for bad reasons. Like, oh, this is horrible, this is bad, let's start it. No one does that, right? Everyone does something for good reasons. It's just that, and it's probably good at that time for whatever the reason is. How do we decide now, after so long, that something is still good or not? Like, is there a way to decide that? Especially since we're all like Christians on this call, how do we decide whether a tradition in church is still good and relevant or not?
Yeah, I think this is also where probably there's the reason why also different churches like Catholics have a different belief from us Christians. Is like they believe that they should continue on these traditions, whereas for us Christians is like we move on from that and we have backing to it, that we have a reason for it. So like things like when, as you mentioned, 4 songs in that one, I think that one is probably not really a tradition, but like as is a practice that just seems best suited or learned from each other. So it's not exactly inherited from a long time ago, but like it was what is best suited and it's what's relevant. But like things like how to say it, like I don't really know. Okay, maybe like communion, where Catholics would think that the bread is and the wine has to be like very specific, whereas for some people they can just take something like a biscuit and some soft drink, and then that can act as emblems already for communion. So like that is how to say, it's like tracing back to biblical, whether it's in line with God's word and whether it's how to say, does it change any significance in your faith? Is it something that pleases God? And that is what ultimately is important, is like, are you in line with God's word? And if you're doing something that does not seem to be in line with God's word, I think that's something you have to question, like why are we doing this? Is it like something that benefits the church? Is it something that is how to say, will build the faith? Or is it something that brings the church together in a good way? It's something that is healthy, yeah.
Okay, great. That's a good way of, I guess my question was like, how do we decide, right, whether a tradition is good or not? And then you mentioned like, we go to the word of God. Basically you're saying, let's look at the word of God. If it's something that's written in the word of God, then it's something we should practice, no matter how long it's been around already and things like that. What if it's not something that's necessarily mentioned in the word of God? Like for example, like the whole 4 songs thing. Like Kanesh, I grew up in a church that like normal is 6 songs or 8 songs.
Your church not traditional
So like, okay, some churches sing 4 songs, some sing 8 songs. Like I don't know. Like what if one, like Sarah, what if you came to X Teens Live this Saturday and we sang 1 song only? do you feel like you worshipped or not? How would you feel if you just sang one song?
I feel like it would be very short on this too.
Okay. Yes, it is obviously short because it's one song, but would you feel like, wow, we worshipped? that was great praise and worship, man.
I think it depends on someone, because sometimes they may feel like,
Right? Yeah.
like you said, 6 to 8 songs is quite long. They might get tired, or like one song is just too short. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it depends on the person, and also like how they worship, like if they really mean it in a sense, or if they're just singing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, okay. It's good. What do you think, Anish?
Well, I think Gen Z's answer is always subjective one.
yeah,
It depends on the person. It depends on the person.
like that, Sarah, if you were the organizer of the service, right, who do you please, huh? The one who likes 4 songs or the one who likes 1 song? We have a problem here, Houston. Hello. Let's do 2.5 songs. Yeah. So I guess Darylene will be like, let's go to the word of God. Worship is for God, so let's not please people. Yeah, but okay. Since you're talking about songs, I think another traditional thing would be like the style of music, the style of song, right?
Yeah, like singing hymns or
Yeah,
rocking music.
I actually have grown up in an era of Christianity where they actually talk a lot about the style of music. Like I was actually told growing up that rock music is from the devil, and not only that, but the 4/4 beat is demonic.
Oh, that's gonna be tough, man.
Yes, which is, by the way, like 90% of all the songs in the world is 4/4, man.
No lah, Pastor, you just say it's 2/4 lah. Just say it's 2/4.
Hey, 2/4 is like what? Boom, cha, boom, cha.
No, that's
2/3. Okay, how to 2/4? I don't know. I actually grew up in that environment. Like I was told that 4/4 beat is demonic.
Wow.
So how like, is there such a thing?
Yeah. Definitely there is such a thing. Yeah. Actually, to this day, also some churches also still believe that they should just sing all hymns. Not even any drums, just sing hymns only. And some churches even don't, I don't know whether they, it's just like that lah. But I don't know whether they believe that the rock or like the drums is demonic or what. But like definitely some people would go, like I said, go very close to the word. They follow as much with God's word as possible. But the thing is also like why are you doing that if it restricts your worship and people don't feel comfortable with that, right? And then in the end, is what you're doing pleasing unto God? And so some people, they feel that when they write certain songs that are modern, that have like probably rock music inside and probably some drums inside and a 4/4 beat, and like people write that as a pleasing unto God, and probably God will also find it as a sweet aroma to his ears. And so why should we restrict that which is pleasing unto God and not do that at all? Of course, you should practice things like discernment, whether like the song you're singing is pleasing unto God or not, like the lyrics, like, are you sure it's biblically correct and things like that? But that's another thing that it's like,
right, you
don't have to be so restricted just because in the Bible times, rock music didn't exist yet.
Rock music.
Rock music using rocks. The rocks will cry out, right? Jesus said the rocks will cry out. That's the original rock music. Jesus said it. But no, talking about traditions and how traditions started long ago and all that, right? One interesting fact about hymns that some churches in a way like swear by, like, oh, we can only sing hymns. It's the only true spiritual song. It's the only true holy songs. But if you study hymns, right, do you know that songs are like words and music, right? Like you put words to a tune. Correct? So you combine words and tune, you make a song. Of course, some songs doesn't have words and all that, right? But okay, fine. But do you know that hymns traditionally are words, spiritual words, obviously, because it's like, what a friend we have in Jesus, amazing grace. Okay, so the words, but they put to tune that were originally from the pubs. Like in those days, those tune, the music is from songs that they sing in, like, of course, those days, maybe it's taverns, not pubs and clubs, okay? It's so old. But it's basically tune that were being played in places where they drink alcohol. So they put the words to those tune.
So it's like parody like that lah.
Well, like parody, or basically it's probably like someone wrote the words and like, I don't know what tune to sing this to. But I know this tune that I heard from the pub. Let me put these words to that tune and then sing it.
Okay.
Music that came from the pub, just with now Christian spiritual words. Now, if you knew this, are you still comfortable singing it then? You know, it's basically if today we wrote hymns, it's like today we took the words and then go to a club and find a tune and put the words to that tune.
That's how Young and Free got all their songs.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, see, this is probably why sometimes we should question tradition, where they come from, and not follow it blindly and know its origins, but also know where the heart of it comes from, right? What was the heart of it? What's the principle behind it? I think we cannot avoid changes, right, Kanish?
Yep.
Like they say, change is the only constant. Someone from Langkawi said it, right? Change is the only constant. And so I think we cannot avoid changes, but I think another thing that someone in Langkawi said is, don't throw the baby out with the bath water.
What's that? I don't think that's from Langkawi, man.
Oh, yes. Why in Langkawi they don't bathe baby in the bathtub? Okay. But basically, like when you bathe a baby, the water in the bathtub, after bathing, the water is dirty, right? You have to throw it away, right?
Yeah.
So throwing the baby away with the bath water is like, you not only throw the dirty bath water, you throw the baby also.
What does that mean?
That means when you want to make changes,
Okay.
you don't have to make wholesale changes all
Right,
the time.
right.
Yeah, there are some things that are still good.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, ang pao. Like nowadays, ang pao is good, right? It's not, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know whether like ang pao has any spiritual, religious roots or not.
Okay.
Maybe some people say it's for good luck. Oh, Christians don't believe in luck, so let's not give ang pao altogether. For example, for example.
Yep.
An example of don't throw the baby out with the bathwater would be, well, giving is good, right? And while it might have some kind of religious roots, maybe, but I don't have to do it because of the religious roots. I am doing it because Christians believe in giving, right? In fact, I don't even have to wait for Chinese New Year to give ang pao or to give whatever, right? I can just give anytime as a blessing. So that's an example of like, hey, the principle is good, the value is good, the roots may not be, but hey, why not I do this because it's good, for example, right? And also at the same time, don't be too quick to criticize a tradition just because it's tradition. Like some people who defend hymns, for example, I don't want to offend anybody, people who defend hymns may not know that actually hymns, the tunes were from the pubs. No different than if today we put words to a clubbing song.
Okay.
Then we like, yeah, something like that. Ganesh?
Wow.
Yes.
Nice, huh? I
just-
have a follow-up, so-called follow-up questions from there. Maybe Darylene and Sarah can shed some light. So we were talking about some of these traditions, like the ang pao, right? Where we don't know if it has any superstitious thing that comes with it. but we can practice the generosity, the giving and all that. And I think especially in context of Chinese New Year, there are many people, I'm sure many teenagers also go through this, especially if you are well, maybe new to Christianity, and finding yourself in Christ, and you will realize that while you have the Bible saying that you can only worship God and He is your idol, and on the other hand, you have family cultures and traditions where you disagree with, and you know it's superstitious and you don't want to practice it. How do you deal with that at home? How do you build the balance, and or maybe if balance is even the word, right? But as a teenager, being in that kind of environment, how do you deal with that? When your mom says it's Chinese New Year, hey, go and pray to this God of fortune because he's God also, like that kind of thing, and you don't want to do it out of conviction, but there's also your parents that you want to honor. Any thoughts from? Because Chinese New Year is also like tradition, right? All this prayer, all this giving at the ang pao, all this whatever that you practice, yeah, but also can be used in other contexts. Any thoughts?
Well, this is a bit tough because it involves family, right? You don't want to destroy your family relationships. But ultimately, the most important relationship to you should be your relationship with Jesus, isn't it? And you don't want to do anything that would displease God. Like, you use an example of maybe praying to this idol or praying to this other god, and let's use that. So like, let's say God also asks you to honor your parents, and also you don't want to disobey honoring your parents, and you also don't want to disobey of worshiping other gods, right? So disobeying or not listening or disobeying that command from your parents does not mean that you don't honor your parents, or does not mean that you don't respect your parents. About the like tradition side of it lah, is it something that pleases God or not lah? Is it something that would drive away your faith from God? And that is something that you have to answer for yourself. Yeah.
Sarah, any thoughts?
I totally agree with Darylene. Yeah.
Great. Okay. How bring it back to church, Ganesh? How about church? Like, as a young person, okay, you obviously will face a lot of things that some adult somewhere long ago, and long ago can even be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, not to say 100 or 10,000 of years. You, as a young person, you definitely encounter things like that, right? Like, okay, this is something that's always been done this way, just follow. When you disagree, how do you think you should go about changing it? Because you also thought about things like honoring, respect, and things like that. How do you balance all that? How do you like honor, respect, but hey, this thing here doesn't make sense, I think we really need to change. Or like, why are we doing this in the first place? Like, how do you go about
going against the so-called tradition?
Yeah.
And you want to raise it up, so how?
Thinking, eh?
Food for thought.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go at the Zoomer thing. It's very subjective.
What's the Zoomer thing? Subjective. Okay,
it's very subjective. Let's say if you're a group of people have been practicing a certain way in such a long time, and then when you finally question it, I think you should come together as a group and you talk about the core of it, the reason why you guys started it. And of course, you said also, Pastor, that people start things probably for a good reason, and so you question those reasons also, and is it still relevant, is it still applicable to the current situation, and is it still something that you guys want to hold up as a pinnacle or as the core of your belief or your value as a group lah? And so is it if like then from there you discuss like, is it something that everybody agrees with, or like even if some don't agree, then is it something you can reason out with? Is it something that it's not just like pleasing the majority lah, but it's more like what is the main pinnacle of it, like the reason.
Yeah.
Then from that, I guess that group can also come to a conclusion what is best and move on from there lah. Yeah.
Cool. So what you're saying is, questioning in itself is not necessarily wrong, but questioning with the right heart, like trying to understand the root of it, the heart of it, and I guess what you're saying is have conversations, not just like bulldoze your way. I'm the new generation. We got new way of doing things, so you step aside. But like talk, right? What's the wisdom in this, and help the other, maybe the older generation, so to speak, like maybe see a different point of view. So I like that. I like having conversations, discussing it rather than either party, whether it's the older one or the younger one bulldozing their way, right? Because it's also not good for the older generation to say, this is how it's done. You just follow lah. You young fellas, you all don't know anything. I don't think that's healthy either, right? So Ganesh, listen, you're the older generation, you're the boomer.
Wow. That's boomer and zoomer. I am the rumor.
I'm the bomber. Boom.
Wow. I think we had really a lot of fun, but I also didn't realize that it's already 9 o'clock. I just want to make a very quick remark that I believe traditions are there for a reason lah, because someone someday long time ago thought it was good and it was continuously being practiced, and therefore the people under him and generations after him also thought it was good. But I guess over time, when it came a long way, right, it's also sometimes good to question and then to decide if it's still good. But to decide if it's still good, you still have to question it. Not all traditions are bad. Like I'll give you an example. I just watched a video just before coming into ATCHAT, right? It's a very interesting video. And this video is about these YouTubers that goes around eating food, right? So this YouTuber went to this particular stall, ate the nasi lemak. Okay, ate the nasi lemak. The nasi lemak, right, is a typical nasi lemak. Okay, you got sambal, you got rice, and then you got all the kacang, the timun, all that. The nasi lemak that you like lah. All right, and then he went to another stall, and this person also sells nasi lemak, but special. It's nasi lemak goreng. So they take the nasi lemak, they goreng it, and then they platter it. All right, and then they have like fried squid with like salted egg stuff on the squid. So it's basically nasi lemak in steroids lah. Okay, it's a way adapted kind of nasi lemak. And this YouTuber said something quite unique lah. He said, if it's nasi lemak, right, it should be nasi lemak. And I think that's how tradition is. Sometimes over time, we always put new stuff, evolve, until the taste is not nasi lemak anymore. Then don't call it nasi lemak lah, right? Yes. So I think that's also one way to look at tradition. If the tradition is good, if we all love nasi lemak, right? Why do you want to change it and goreng the nasi lemak? If the tradition is good, question it, think about it, keep it if it's good. If there is a need to change it, well, maybe don't even call it nasi lemak. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, there's nothing wrong with creating a new dish.
Yes.
It's the same thing with bak kut teh. There's the soup bak kut teh and the dry bak kut teh. And people always ask me, hey, which one is better? You like the wet one is better or the dry one is better? I'm like, it's two different dish. You don't compare. It's like, which dry one do you like and which soup one do you like? Rather than you like the soup one or the dry one. It's like comparing apple and oranges. Which one is better?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you like orange. You like apple. You like apple. No, you don't have to put these two against each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. It's good that we talk about traditions today. I know time is tight. We had a lot of fun, and we spoke from the whole spectrum of age, right? The zoomer, the boomer, the rumor, and the bomber. So thanks for joining us. But Darylene, Sarah, any final thoughts about the word tradition that you want to convey to the viewers or audience?
Enjoy your family traditions. Uphold it. Give it on to generations.
Wow.
And then they will question.
Let them question. Let the Sarah Darryl
Yeah.
question. And then Sarah Darryl, the day, right, they will say, up to y'all lah. If you like it, sure.
It's subjective.
But what do you think, Sarah?
Sorry.
What do you have anything to say about tradition?
Any closing thoughts,
Yeah,
closing
yeah.
statements, you know?
Yeah, I agree with Darylene. I don't really have much to say, but yeah, I feel like tradition is something that's very unique and it's something that brings people together. So yeah, continue
Wow.
doing what you guys do. Yeah.
Awesome.
All
All right, Pastor.
Okay.
Any last pastoral speech?
I've already said what I wanted to say.
You already
just
say
now.
your
I think
bakute speech, huh? Okay.
Bakute, nasi lemak goreng. You
Okay.
know? They have just go to porridge, right? They got fried porridge also now.
Oh my goodness.
Then you go to Clan, you'll find all kind of things. You probably find hot ice.
Ice cream.
By the way, there is fried ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Dry water. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we all have fun. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. That's all we have
Yes.
for all of you in Accents Chat today. We hope you continue to follow us. But you know what? That's not all for Accents Chat for this week, because tomorrow
Whoa,
is
that's
XChurch
right.
conference, and if you have not signed up for conference, please speak to somebody about it. You can type it out in the comment section or the chat box. We would like to get you involved. But what happens after the conference at 10 p.m. tomorrow? We will have another session of Accents Chat, right? It's called Are You Smarter Than a Teenager? And that's when we are going to invite all the adults, all the boomers and bombers, the Pastor Andy's age, right, to join into a trivia challenge with teenagers. And teenagers, I hope you do not disappoint us as
Yes.
teens.
We have a
Alright.
very, 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 very smart
Yes.
genius of a teenager
Yes.
that will be taking on the challenge. You know,
Yes.
all the boomers and the groomers and the and the whatever mers lah, okay, will come and challenge this very smart teenager. Who is
Yes.
this teenager? Tomorrow
Yes.
you will find out.
But this is a tip. This is definitely smart because the surname is Ong.
Ong
Wow.
Lai.
Ong Lai, yes,
Ong
yes.
Lai. Yes,
Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow if you're tuning in at 10 o'clock. Do be in touch with our Instagram and Facebook at XTeens.
Yeah.
And
Ganesh,
yep.
the Instagram is the ATCHAT Instagram, yeah?
Oh, XChurch. Okay, but we'll
ATCHAT
announce it.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll announce it.
But
on
we will
the
announce it on the XTeens Instagram as well. Don't worry.
Yes. Awesome. So I'll see you guys in Exchange Chat again. Ciao. Bye bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.